All right, let's get right into this absolute masterclass of dark comedy and suspense from the one and only Roald Dahl. Today, we are breaking down Lamb to the Slaughter, a story that shows you just how fast a perfect, happy home can curdle into the scene of a perfect crime.
So this is really the big question, isn't it? How does this happen? We're going to trace the shocking and, let's be honest, kind of brilliant transformation of Mary Maloney. We watch her go from a doting wife to a criminal mastermind pretty much overnight.
But before we get to the crime, you've got to understand the setup. Dahl is so good at this. He starts by lulling us into this false sense of security, painting this picture of just absolute domestic bliss. And he uses these little details so well. I mean, the room is warm and clean, the lamps are on, the ice is waiting in the bucket. It all just screams contentment, right? And Mary herself has this slow, smiling air. Everything feels exactly like it's supposed to.
So, let's meet our protagonist. And when I say she's a doting wife, I mean she is the doting wife. Her entire world, her whole universe revolves around her husband, Patrick. She loves waiting for him to get home. It's the best part of her day. And oh yeah, she's 6 months pregnant, which just adds another layer to this perfect little domestic picture.
But of course, right when you're feeling all cozy and settled in, bam, Roald Dahl just rips the rug right out from under you. The second Patrick Maloney walks through that door, the whole perfect facade starts to crack piece by piece.
I mean, just look at how this unfolds. This isn't just a guy who had a long day at the office. No. This is something else entirely. He downs his first drink in one go, pours another one that's way stronger than usual, and he just shuts down every little loving thing she tries to do for him. Every single action is a huge red flag that something is very wrong.
And here's where Dahl is just so clever. He never tells us what Patrick says. Is he leaving her? Is there someone else? We don't know. And by leaving it a mystery, Dahl makes us focus on the effect of what he said, not the cause. The details don't matter. What matters is that Mary's entire world just got shattered.
And get this, his big sign-off? It's just ice cold. There's no emotion, no apology, just this selfish worry about his career. Can you believe that? I know it's kind of a bad time. He basically treats the end of their life together like it's a minor inconvenience for his job. Chilling.
So with her world completely destroyed, Mary's character just goes through this massive, terrifying change. This is the moment. This is where everything flips.
You know, at first, she's not even really there. She's on autopilot, in total shock. She just decides to get supper ready, like she's trying to force things back to normal. And what does she grab? The very first thing her hand touches, a giant frozen leg of lamb. And that's all it takes. He tells her not to bother making him supper because he's going out, and that's the trigger. The story says she does it simply, without any pause. It's just a pure, impulsive, shocking act of violence. And in that one moment, poof, the doting wife is gone.
Now this part is so important. The fog of shock lifts and something else clicks into place. This incredible, sharp clarity. She realizes it's not about her anymore. She'd take the punishment, but her baby? No way. That maternal instinct kicks in, and her new mission is singular: protect her child no matter what.
And with that new motivation, oh boy, does she get to work. Mary starts putting together what might be one of the most ingenious alibis you'll ever come across in a story. Just look at these steps. There's nothing impulsive about this. This is cold, calculated, methodical planning. She doesn't just hide the weapon, she puts it in the oven. She doesn't just run to the store, she practices her smile in the mirror first. It's like a chillingly practical checklist for how to get away with murder. And her performance at the store? Oh, it's Oscar-worthy. She's not just grabbing a few things in a panic. No, she's chatting up the grocer, Sam, talking about what Patrick might want for dessert. A cheesecake, because he loves it. See what she's doing? She's creating a witness, building this perfect, unbreakable alibi.
And here's where she has a huge advantage. The cops who show up, they aren't strangers. They're Patrick's friends from the force. They know her. And to them, she isn't a suspect. She's just poor, sweet, grieving Mrs. Maloney. It puts her above suspicion from the very start.
And this is it, the checkmate moment. She's crying, and she overhears them talking about what the grocer said, that she was totally normal, even cheerful, just a little while ago. And they say it's impossible that she could have done it. Game, set, match. Her plan worked perfectly.
Okay, so now we get to the ending, the part that makes this story so legendary. This is where Roald Dahl's twisted sense of humor really comes out to play, and Mary Maloney makes her final, masterful move.
The irony here is just chef's kiss, delicious. You've got the detectives walking around saying, "Find the weapon," and you found the killer. They're searching everywhere for some big, heavy metal object, and they have absolutely no idea.
Because then comes her final genius move. She plays the role of the distraught hostess perfectly. She insists that they stay and eat the lamb she cooked. She says it would be a favor to her, that Patrick would have wanted it. And of course, the guys are tired and starving. They can't say no.
So what we're watching here is a perfect example of something called dramatic irony. You know that feeling when you're watching a movie and you know something the characters don't? That's what this is. We're in on the secret. We know exactly what the murder weapon is, and that gap in knowledge is what makes this whole scene so incredibly tense and funny.
So you've got these two totally different realities happening in the same room. From the police perspective, they're starving and they're looking for some kind of metal club or spanner. From our perspective, we're watching them literally destroy the only piece of evidence that could solve the case. It's brilliant.
And then one of the cops says it. Personally, I think it's right here on the premises. And he has no idea how right he is. It's not just on the premises, buddy. It is literally on your plate.
And that's the punchline. The final, perfect joke. Another officer says it's probably right under our very noses. And they are 100% correct. And then you get that final, chilling sound from the other room. Mary starts to giggle. And that's the sound of a perfect crime. The gentle lamb became the butcher. And it leaves you wondering, doesn't it, about the kind of darkness that can hide just behind a placid, smiling face.